Hello children, I welcome you all in your new academic session. First of all, I will tell you segregation of informatics practices paper. It will be of 100 marks, 70 marks of theory and 30 marks of practical. There are 5 units and I will tell you segregation of marks as per the units. Unit 1, Introduction to Computer System, is of 5 marks. Unit 2, Introduction to Python, is of 25 marks. Unit 3, Data Handling Using NumPy, is of 15 marks. Unit 4, Database Concepts and Structured Query Language, is of 20 marks. And Unit 5, Introduction to Emerging Trends, is of 5 marks. Now today I will start with chapter 1, that is computer system. Children, as you all know, a computer is an electronic device that can be programmed to accept data, process it and generate result. A computer along with additional hardware and software together is called a computer system. A computer system comprises of a central processing unit, memory, input-output devices, and storage devices. All these components function together as a single unit to deliver the desired output. The figure which is on the screen shows the block diagram of a computer system. The directed lines represent the flow of data and signal between the components. Central processing unit. Students, as you all know, it is the electronic circuitry of a computer that carries out the actual processing and is usually referred to as the brain of the computer. It is also popularly known as microprocessor or processor. The CPU is given instructions and data through programs. The CPU then fetches the program and data from the memory and performs arithmetic and logical operations as per the given instructions and stores result back to memory. The CPU has two main parts. These are arithmetical logic unit and control unit. Children, you all know arithmetic logic unit performs all the arithmetic and logic operations that need to be done as per the instruction in a program. Control unit controls sequential instruction execution, interprets instructions, and guides data flow through the computer's memory, ALU, and input-output devices. Input devices. Children, as you all know, the devices through which control signals are sent to a computer are termed as input devices. These devices convert the input data into a digital form that is acceptable by the computer system. Examples of input devices are keyboard, mouse, scanner, touch screen. Output devices. Children, as you all know, the device that receives data from a computer system for display, physical production is called output device. It converts digital information into human understandable form. Examples of output devices are monitor, projector, headphone, speaker, printer. Evolution of computers. Students, as you all know, from the simple calculator to a modern day powerful processor, computing devices have evolved in a relatively short span of time. The figure which is given on the screen is the von Neumann's architecture. It consists of a central processing unit, for processing arithmetic and logical instructions, a memory to store data and programs, input and output devices, and communication channels to send and receive the output data. Electronic numerical integrator and computer is the first binary programmable computer based on von Neumann architecture. The evolution of computer devices is shown through a timeline graph which is given on your screen. In 500 BC, computing is attributed to the invention of abax era almost 3000 years ago. It was a mechanical device capable of doing simple arithmetic calculations only. Then in 1642, Blaise Pascal invented a mechanical calculator known as Pascal calculator or Pascal line to do addition and subtraction of two numbers directly and multiplication and division through repeated addition or subtraction. Then in 1834, Charles Babbage invented analytical engine, a mechanical computing device for inputting, processing, storing and displaying the output, which is considered to form the basis of modern computers. Then in 1890, Hermann Hollerith designed a tabulating machine for summarizing the data stored on punched card. It is considered to be the first step towards programming. The 1937, the Turing machine concept was a general purpose programmable machine that was capable to solve any problem by executing the program stored on the punched cards. Then 1945, John von Neumann introduced the concept of stored program computer which was capable of storing data as well as program in the memory. The EDVAC and then the NI computers were developed based on this concept. Then 1947, vacuum tubes were replaced by transistors developed at Bell Labs using semiconductor materials. Then in 1970, an integrated circuit IC is a silicon chip which contains entire electronic circuit on a very small area. The size of computer has disastrously reduced because of ICs. Now, the next topic is computer memory. Dear students, as you all know, a computer system needs memory to store the data and instructions for processing. There are the units of memory. A computer system uses binary numbers to store and process data. The binary digits 0 and 1, which are the basic units of memory, are called bits. Further, these bits are grouped together to form words. A 4-bit word is called a nibble and a 8-bit word is called a byte. There are the other measurement units for digital data which is displayed on the screen. Now, types of memory. Computers have three types of memories, namely primary memory, cache memory, secondary memory. Primary memory. The primary memory is an essential component of a computer system. Program and data are loaded into the primary memory before processing. It is of two types, RAM and ROM. RAM stands for random access memory. It is a volatile memory. As long as the power is supplied to the computer, it retains the data in it. But as soon as the power supply is turned off, all the contents of RAM are wiped out. It is used to store data temporarily while the computer is working. RAM is usually referred to as main memory and it is faster than the secondary memory or storage devices. ROM. The full form of ROM is read only memory. It is a non volatile memory, which means its contents are not lost when the power is turned off. It is used as a small but faster permanent storage for the contents which are rarely changed. For example, the starter program, bootloader, that loads the operating system into RAM is stored in a ROM. Cache memory. Dear students, RAM is faster than secondary memory, but not as fast as computer processor. So, because of RAM, a CPU may have to slow down. To speed up the operations of the CPU, a very high speed memory is placed between the CPU and the primary memory known as cache. It stores the copies of the data from frequently accessed primary memory locations, thus reducing the average time required to access data from the primary memory. Secondary memory. Students, primary memory has limited storage capacity and is either volatile or read only. Thus, a computer system needs auxiliary or secondary memory to permanently store the data or instructions for future use. The secondary memory is non-volatile and has larger storage capacity than primary memory. It is slower and cheaper than the main memory. Data capturing, storage and retrieval. Dear students, to process the data, we need to first input or capture the data. This is followed by its storage in a file so that it can be used in the future. Whenever data is to be processed, it is first retrieved from the file so that we can perform further actions on it. Data capturing. Let me introduce you with data capturing. It involves the process of gathering data from different sources in digital form. Data may be captured using keyboard barcode readers used at shopping outlets, remote sensors on Earth orbiting satellite, comment sports over multiple social media are also captured as data. Data storage. Dear students, as you all know, it is the process of storing the captured data for processing later. Nowadays, data is being produced at a very high rate and therefore data storage has become a challenging task. There are numerous digital storage devices available such as pen drive, CD, DVD, memory card, hard disk. Data keeps on increasing with time, hence the storage devices also requires to be upgraded periodically. Data retrieval. It involves fetching data from the storage devices for its processing as per the user's requirement. A databases grow, the challenges involved in search and retrieval of the data in acceptable time also increases. Minimizing data access time is crucial for faster data processing. Data deletion and recovery. Students, you must know one of the biggest threats associated with digital data is its deletion. The storage devices can malfunction or crash down, resulting in the deletion of the stored data. Users can accidentally erase data from storage devices, or hacker can delete the digital data intentionally. In case data gets deleted accidentally or corrupted, there arises a need to recover the data. Recovery of the data is possible only if the contents, memory space marked as deleted, have not been overwritten by some other data. Data recovery is a process of retrieving deleted, corrupted, and lost data from secondary storage devices. Now, our next topic is software. Students, what is software? An ordered set of instructions given to the computer is known as a program, and a set of such programs that governs the operation of a computer system and its related devices is known as a software. Now, here the question arises, what is the need of software? The sole purpose of a software is to make computer hardware useful and operational. A software knows how to make different hardware components of a computer work and communicate with each other as well as with the end user. We cannot talk to or instruct the hardware of a computer directly. Hence, software acts as an interface between human users and the hardware. Types of software. Software are mainly categorized as system software, programming tools, and application software. System software. The software that provides the basic functionality to operate a computer by interacting directly with its constituent hardware is termed as system software. A system software knows how to operate and use different hardware components of a computer. It provides services directly to the end user or to some other software. Examples of system software include operating system, system utilities, disk drivers. Operating system. Now, what is operating system? It is a system software that operates the computer. An operating system is the most basic system software, without which other software cannot work. The operating system manages other application programs and provides access and security to the users of the system. Some of the popular operating system softwares are Windows, Linux, Android. Operating system is an interface between the user and the computer and supervises the working of computer system. It monitors and controls the hardware and software of the computer system. System utilities. Softwares used for maintenance and configuration of the computer system is called system utility. Antivirus software, disk cleaner tool, disk compression software are the examples of system software. Device drivers. A device driver is a system software that acts like an interface between the device and the user or the operating system. All computer accessories like printer, scanner, web camera come with their own driver software. These driver software help the operating system and other application software to communicate with those devices for optimal use. Application software. Application software is a set of programs to carry out a specific task like word processor, spreadsheet tools, presentation tools, library management software, railway reservation, antivirus software. Generally, an application software can perform only one specific job and cannot be used for something else. For example, a library management software cannot be used for railway reservation software. There are two types of application softwares. They are general purpose software, customized software. General purpose softwares are the softwares designed for general day-to-day applications and uses. Some of these popular general purpose application softwares are MS Word, Spreadsheet, PowerPoint, MS Access. Customized softwares. Some application software are made for performing specific tasks generally used by the institutions, corporate business houses, and such software come under the category of specific purpose application software. For example, payroll management system, hotel management system, report card generators are the examples of customized software. Now, next topic is proprietary or free and open source software. Now, students, let me introduce you with free and open source software. Developers of some software allow public to freely use their software along with source code with an aim to improve further with each other's help. Such software is known as free and open source software. For example, Python, OpenOffice, Mozilla Firefox are the examples of free and open source software. Freeware. Software are freely available for use, but source code may not be available. Such software is called freeware. Examples are Skype, Adobe Reader. Proprietary software. When software to be used has to be purchased from the vendor who has the copyright of the software, then it is a proprietary software. Examples of proprietary software include Microsoft Windows, Tally, Quick Heal,